Hey guys, so in today's video, we're going to talk about investing in Thomasville, North Carolina. Thomasville is located inside Davidson County. It's on the very far east side of Davidson County, which coincidentally is right in the middle of Greensboro and Winston-Salem. Now, ideally in Davidson County, most people want to be in northern Davidson County, which is the Walberg or parts of Walberg area. They want to be there because it's close to Winston-Salem, Kernersville, and Greensboro, while at the same time you can enjoy the low county taxes of Davidson County where everybody wants to be in, but you're still close to everything else. But if you're looking for an investment, which is what this video is about, then Walberg might not be your best option. If you come a little bit further south to Thomasville, it's not in the highly desirable area where a lot of homeowners want to be, but it's still in a great location for people that work in Winston-Salem, Greensboro, Kernersville, or any of the other surrounding larger cities. So when you're looking at investing in this area, Thomasville might be your best choice because its house prices can be a lot lower than some of the surrounding cities. So Thomasville was built around the railroad system with its large factories and hosiery mills at one time, which brought in tons of business for the small town. Back in 1904, when Thomasville Furniture, or what was Thomasville Chairs, was first started, there was an influx of employees that wanted to work at these factories and hosiery mills to make the furniture known as Thomasville Furniture. So as these businesses grew, so did the population in Thomasville of workers that worked in these factories. Now these people needed somewhere to live, and a lot of times they were getting paid very little. So the homes they could afford to build were also going to be little. So now what you see typically around the factories, or the old factories, is what many call mill houses. Now these are typically under 1,000 square feet, and they're 2-bed, 1-bath, 3-bed, 1-bath, sometimes a 3-2, and sometimes there's an outlier that's a much bigger house, but typically this is what you see a lot, is the smaller houses on a very small lot, maybe a quarter of an acre, that could be as much as 100 years old or a little bit older. Streets nearby that is your typical rental type neighborhood in Thomasville. Here you can see the size of houses, how close everything is. The size of the lots are relatively small. And you can see that some of them probably need a little work. Now what I've seen is, since these homes are so old, typically they've had a landlord or two, and they've wrung every penny they could out of the house without doing repairs or doing very little repairs. So some of these houses are very run down, but some of them have been fixed up over time, and you can find a good deal if you look hard enough. Or if you're looking to pick up more than one property at a time, sometimes you can get a package deal of these homes that need a little work for a very cheap price. I've sold 3 homes for $60,000 in a bundle before. There is a huge demand for rental property in Thomasville. A lot of times Thomasville's cost of living is very low, so the people that maybe live here and work here don't have the funds or the means to be able to afford a house. Therefore they want to rent, and some people just prefer to be renters because they don't want the obligation of having to fix a house when something breaks. I don't know how many times a week I get phone calls wanting to know if we have a house for rent because they're desperately trying to find something, or a house for rent to own. For some reason there's a growing number of those phone calls we get too, and I'm not sure who is actually out there doing rent to own, but apparently somebody is. I have thought about it myself, just to buy some of these cheaper houses and rent to own them back out without doing anything to them, but I haven't yet. Now over the last couple of years, we've seen a little renovation through Thomasville where some people have come in and actually done some work to some of these smaller factories and renovated them into apartment complexes for affordable housing. Take a look at this one at Big Chair Lofts. It once was a factory that sat there for years and years and years, and someone come in and bought it, and they used a grant program to help fix it up for Section 8 and more affordable housing, and now there's brand new housing for Thomasville right in the heart of downtown, and they've done a really good job at it. We still have several of these large factories that are just sitting or they're being rented out for businesses temporarily in Thomasville that would make a great housing project if somebody wanted to come in with another grant program and renovate them into a more industrial type housing complex for affordable housing in Thomasville. If it was in one of the bigger cities, I could see it being renovated a lot quicker as a more of a hipster type hangout, or even a business complex with offices and such inside. So let's take a quick tour of one of these houses that is in Thomasville that is your typical investment type property. Here we are on June Street. It's located right next to one of the parks. They're getting ready to renovate the pool in Thomasville. They got a whole big plan for it. It's already got new park equipment in it. I've been up there a couple times with my kid playing. This is kind of a weird neighborhood too. It's right near one of the football stadiums. Also next door to this neighborhood is some higher end homes, $200,000-300,000, that's kind of tucked away in Thomasville that a lot of people probably don't even know are there, since they're sitting next to houses like this. This home really isn't too bad. I actually thought about buying it myself. You come in, throw some paint down, throw down some of that new locked together flooring, and that'll make a world of difference in this house. Now, what I was concerned about when I got to the back is the kitchen. It's a little saggy, a little squishy, pretty much all the way across. And you'll see that a lot. If you're an investor, you've seen this before, typically around the bathroom area, but this was right in the center of the kitchen and in the laundry room too. I later went underneath it and found quite a bit of rot, but it was only a few boards that really needed to be replaced, and you would have it shored back up, throw flooring on top of it, and you're good to go. This home would easily rent for $600 to $700 a month. It's got a large backyard. The roof didn't look too bad to me. The owner said the heat worked and air, so you'd have to take that with a grain of salt. But overall, this house wasn't too bad. They just wanted a little bit too much for it for my pocket. So I hope taking a look at some of the houses and what could be done in Thomasville was kind of helpful to you. Down below I left a link for a spreadsheet to help do your own evaluation if you see any rental properties. That's helped me several times to figure out, is this a deal, is it not a deal? And I hope to be of service to you in the future. Thank you.